Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are all fine and have a nice day. So this is the lecture which is the second part of the pronouns. In the previous lecture we will discuss the pronoun and its type. Now in this lecture we'll discuss what are the determinants, how many types determinants have and how it functions when it's used with the noun. Yeah. So first of all, we discuss its definition that what a determinant is. So determinants are placed at the beginning of the noun group. So student, before going to discuss the determinants, we have a knowledge about the nouns, and a noun group means a phrase which consists of noun along with the preposition. So it becomes a phrase like you can say that two blue balloons. So two blue balloons are the nouns or along with the adjective, so it become a noun group, or you can say that it is a noun phrase. So what are the determinants? Determinants are placed at the beginning of the noun group. Yes, the first letter of the noun group is a determiner, or determine are placed in front of the numbers and adjectives, right? Determiners always come whenever you use a numbers or some adjective in a noun phrase or a noun group. So determiners come before the numbers and adjective. In this example, you'll well known that he met the three French girls in Dallas. So the three French girls, three is the number, French means an adjective, and girls are the noun. So it becomes a noun group. What is the determiner in this noun group? The three French girls. So D is the determiners. My new garage is being painted. So a new means an adjective. Garage is the noun. So my new garage. So my it becomes the determinants which is come in front of the noun group. Can you give me another example? So example is a noun. So another means you show something and you point out something, so it is come before a noun, or it also come before a noun group, so it is known as the determinants. Several new gadgets were presented at the show. So several is the determinants which come before the new gadgets. Okay, right? What are the specific determinants? The definite articles, as we have already discussed about the articles. What are the articles? Two types of articles are there: definite articles and indefinite articles. So the definite article is known as the D. So here are the some specific determinants which shows or which are represented in the noun group or in the sentence as well. So the definite articles die is used also as an determinants. The demonstrative. Demonstrative means to point out something or to give the locations to something. What are the demonstrative determinants? This, that, these, and those, right? And what are the some possessive which also act which also used as a determinants? My, your, his, her, its, our, and their. So these are the some possessives that also used as the determinants, right? Note your is used both for the singular and plural possessive. Yes, your is both used for the singular someone and the plural possessive, right? Specific determinants are used. Now we had discussed that what are the specific determinants. Now this is the use that when these specific determinants are used in the sentence, right? The people or the thing you are talking about have already been mentioned, and it's clear which ones you mean. जैसे बेटा मैंने आपको डेफिनेट आर्टिकल का बताया कि हम डेफिनेट आर्टिकल दा तब यूज करते थे जब हमें ऑलरेडी मेंशन या ऑलरेडी फेम पर्सन या ऑलरेडी फेम प्लेस का पता होता था, वी ऑलरेडी बीन मेंशन. तो इसी तरह स्पेसिफिक डिटरमिनेंट्स भी तब यूज होते हैं जब हम किसी चीज या some people we talk about some people that you are talking about already been mentioned, right? And the second one कि हम कब यूज करते हैं डिटरमिनेंट्स को जब हमें पता हो कि इट इज क्लियर दैट व्हाट यू मीन कि अगर मैं किसी स्पेसिफिक चीज को मेंशन करना चाह रही हूँ तो वहां पे मैं डिटरमिन लगाऊंगी. ठीक है. द थ्री फ्रेंड्स जैसे भी हमने पढ़ा. Another example. So I mentioned some specifically which ones you mean. So in that condition we use the determinants. For example, the teacher began to walk towards the student. So that is the determinant. All people don't like those movies. So what is the specific? What is the clear one is the those movies. His leg was very sore. So his leg. So आप लोग ने देखा बेटा कि यहाँ पे ये एज अ डिमोन्स्ट्रेटिव्स भी यूज हो रहे हैं जैसे दोज वगैरह. एज एन आर्टिकल भी डिटर्मिनेंट्स यूज हो जैसे दा वगैरह. एंड हिज लाइक एज अ प्रोनाउंस भी यूज होते हैं. प्रोनाउन जैसे पिछले लेक्चर में मैंने बताया था व्हाट आर प्रोनाउन दैट आर come in the place or replacement of the noun is known as the pronoun. So his leg, his is used as a pronoun, but in this sentence it is used as a determinant. So determinants किसी भी shape में आ सकते हैं. As an article भी use हो सकते हैं like the teacher, as a demonstrative भी use हो सकते हैं like those movies, and as a pronouns भी use हो सकते हैं जैसे his leg. Okay? Okay. And the specific determinants are the definite articles. Yes, we have discussed it. Okay. आइए. When you are mentioning people or the thing for the first time or talking about them generally without saying exactly which one you mean, you are use the general determinants. Yes. अभी हमने जो प्रीवियस पढ़ा वो हमने स्पेसिफिक डिटर्मिनेंट्स पढ़ा था कि जिसके बारे में हमें पता होता है, ऑलरेडी मेंशन होता है और फिर वो सेम प्लेस होती है, पीपल होता है जिनके बारे में हमें पता होता है. ठीक है. और वो स्पेसिफिक वन होती है जिनके बारे में हम क्लियर होते हैं कि हम किसी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं बात करूँ कायद आजम की, सो आई नो अबाउट हिम, मुझे पता है, आई एम क्लियर दैट होम वीड आई रेफर. ठीक है. लेकिन कुछ होते हैं जनरल डिटर्मिनर्स होते हैं इन विच वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग विच आर जनरली यूज्ड विच आर विदाउट एंड वी मीन्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि जिसका हमें पता नहीं होता, हम जनरल सेंस में से यूज करते हैं. कोई स्पेसिफिक हमारे कोई कंडीशन नहीं होती कि हम उसे यूज करें तो जनरली यूज कर देते हैं. तो उन जनरली यूज करने के लिए कुछ जनरल डिटर्मिनर्स होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आ लगाते हो, जैसे आ आर्टिकल है और एन आर्टिकल है, आप डेफिनेट आर्टिकल्स यूज करते हो जनरली यूज के लिए, जिसका मैंने आर्टिकल वाले लेक्चर में आपको बताया. ठीक है. इसी तरह आप वो डिटर्मिनेंट्स यूज करते हो फॉर द जनरल पर्पस. और कोई भी आप दूसरा अगर याद कर लेते हो, डिमोन्स्ट्रेटिव ले लेते हो, कुछ भी रिफ्लेक्सिव एम्फैटिक में से ले लेते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एनी टाइम. सो एनी इज यूज फॉर some general reasons, not for the specific one. So these are known as the some general determinant. For example, there was a man in the lake. So a man is the general determinant. We went to an art exhibition. So an art or an is your general determinant. You can stop at any time you like. So any is your determinant, which is known as the general determinant. So the general determinants are, these are the general determinants are other, both, less, little, very, both, all, several, much, enough, many, few, each, and some, neither, no, more, fewer, either, another, or any. Right? So each general determinant is used with the particular types of noun. You use some general determinants with the singular count nouns. So what are the singular count nouns that you can use as a singular one, or it is easy to count and it is impossible to count? So these determinants are used with the count nouns. Another, each, every, no, neither, any, either, and. तो ये वाले जो जनरल डिटर्मिनेंट्स है बेटा हमेशा ये काउंट नाउन के साथ नहीं होंगे, जिन्हें आप कहते हैं काउंटेबल नाउन, जिसका मैंने आपको प्रीवियस लेक्चर में पढ़ाया कि व्हाट आर द काउंट नाउन्स. राइट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, आई गॉट अ पोस्ट कार्ड फ्रॉम Susan, or any big tin container will do. He opened another shop last month. So a postcard or any big in a container or another shop. For example, postcard है वो भी countable है, we can count it. A big tin container ये भी countable है. Another shop, shop be countable है. So every singular count noun we use the general determinants जो मैंने आपको पीछे बताया कि कौन कौन सा determinants है जो यूज होते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ अब प्लूरल काउंट्स वो तो सिंगुलर वन की तरह, जैसे एक शॉप थी, एक पोस्ट कार्ड था, एक कंटेनर था, लेकिन अब प्लूरल्स के साथ जो यूज होते हैं काउंट नाउन वो क्या है? ऑल, enough, many, no, some, any, few, more, another, both, fewer, more, several. So there were few doctors available. He spoke many different languages. So few doctors, doctor is a plural one, but we can count it. It is a count noun. And many different languages. Yes, there are many languages, but it is countable or it is a plural count noun. Yeah. So what are the uncount nouns? Uncount nouns mean which are impossible to count, or you can say that it is an uncountable noun. We use determinants in this situation: all, enough, little, most, no, any, less, more, much, some. So what are the example of these uncount noun determinants? There was little applause, or we need more information. So how many applause, how little applause you did it, so we are unable to count it. How more information you need, so it is impossible, it is a lot of information or it is impossible to count, so such a determinants are used as an uncount noun. Okay. Yes, student, there is a warning that following general determinants can neither be used with the uncount noun. So never use these determinants with the uncount noun. A, both, every, neither, and, each, few, several, either, another, many. So these are not used, they are never used with the uncount noun. But maybe they are used with the count noun, but in this category you will well familiar that in which category is it in a singular form or it is a plural form, but it never be used with the uncount noun, right? Yes, student, most determinants are also used or also pronouns except the, a, and every, no, and the possessors. Yes. अब इसमें क्या कह रहे हैं? इनमें कह रहे हैं कि कुछ डिटरमिनेंट एज अ प्रोनाउंस भी यूज करते हैं, लेकिन कौन कौन नहीं ऐसा करते, जैसे ये एग्जांपल दा, आ, एन, एवरी, नो एंड बी. ये जो पोजेसिव ये है, इनके अलावा सारे एज एन प्रोनाउंस भी यूज कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आई सॉ सेवरल. सेवरल मीन्स कोई चीज होगी जिन्हें हम, जो कोई चीज नाउन है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ट्रीज इज अ नाउन. But in the replacement of we use the word several. So in this sentence, several is used as a pronoun. So for the pronoun determinant, we also use these determinants. In the words last night, have you got any that I could borrow? And there is enough for all of us. So such type of determinants are used as also as a pronoun which comes in the place of noun and which functions as a noun, right? You use one as a pronoun instead of a or an. None instead of no and each instead of every. Yes, there are some conditions you can say that you use the pronoun one. अगर आपने कोई चीज सिंगुलर की बात कर रहे हो, जैसे प्लूरल की बात कर रहे हो, या आर्टिकल आप आ और एन के बजाय आप प्रोनाउन एज अ प्रोनाउन में वन यूज करोगे. जैसे मैं कहती हूँ एन एंड अ पेंसिल, उसकी जगह मैं कह देती हूँ यू हैव गॉट वन, यानी कि वन पेंसिल ही डिनोट कर रही हूँ, लेकिन वो उसके बजाय कि हम आ और एन के साथ उस वर्ड को लिखे तो हम एज अ प्रोनाउन उसको वन भी कह सकते हैं. ठीक है. और अगर मैं नो नहीं लिखना चाह रही या मैं ईच नहीं लिखना चाह रही तो उसकी जगह मैं एवरी, ईच की जगह मैं एवरी भी लिख सकती हूँ एंड आई यूज नन इंस्टेड ऑफ नो, राइट? सो देयर आर सम यू कैन से दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आर यूज्ड इंस्टेड कि अगर इस रिप्लेसमेंट में आपको ये लिखना चाहे तो इसकी प्रेफरेंस में आप लोग ये चीज लिखेंगे. ठीक है. हैव यू गॉट वन, so there are none left. Each has a separate box and the number, right? So one, none, and each are used in the replacement of some articles or some possessive. You can say there's some demonstrative. You can say that. So these are used as the pronouns. So this is the relation of pronouns and the determinants. Whenever there is a question in the exam that what is the relation of pronouns or determinants, or it can say in this way that how the pronouns or how the determinant used as a pronouns, right? So in this sentence, in this example, you can explain it with detail. So students, there are the next step of our lecture is the classes of determinant, that what are the classes or what are the, you can say that the type of determinants are. So there are 8 classes of determinants: articles, which includes the definite or indefinite articles, demonstratives, qualifiers, possessives, numbers as a cardinal and the ordinal numbers, distributive or indefinite pronouns, question words or relative pronouns. So there are total 8 classes of determinants. ठीक है? अब हम इसको one by one discuss करेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा समझ आ जाएगी that what are the determinants and what are their functions. So, number one is an article which includes the definite or indefinite articles. We are well familiar with these words. That what are the articles? Are, and the. So, the indefinite articles are and signals that reference is noun is specific और general. जिसका पहले मैंने बताया कि are and हमेशा तब यूज होते हैं जब हम कोई नॉन स्पेसिफिक होता है और कोई जनरली सेंस में हम बात करते हैं, ठीक है? और हमेशा द आर्टिकल, द डेफिनेट आर्टिकल, द सिग्नल्स दैट द रेफरेंस इज स्पेसिफिक. जब कोई फेमस होता है या कोई स्पेसिफिक वन होता है उसके लिए हम क्या लगाते हैं? द डेफिनेट आर्टिकल, राइट? डेफिनेट आर्टिकल्स एंड इनडेफिनेट आर द, आर एंड. Example: the visitors are coming. A box of chocolate was eaten by them. So the visitor are the important or the famous or the specific one, and the box of chocolates is the general sense we use, right? And now in the second verse is the demonstratives. With that, what are the demonstrative? If it used as a singular one, so demonstrative means to show something, to point out something. So as a singular form, this or that is used as a demonstrative determinants, and in the plural form, these and those are used as a demonstrative determinants, showing who or what is being referred to. ठीक है? ये मतलब ये कि demonstrative क्या बताता है कि which point out something which you want to show or which you want to refer, right? Okay, example are: this pair of shoes is mine and I think that girl is their leader. So this pair and that girl. So they are the demonstrative determinants. So what are the quantifiers? Quantifiers mean used with the noun to show the amount of something. इसमें आप अगर कह लो कि countable और uncountable nouns आ जाते तो वो भी गलत नहीं है. Quantifiers वही होता है which shows the quantity, which shows the amount of something, right? So few, much, most, some, any, more, little, many, a lot of, other, enough, such. So they are the quantifiers which use as a determinants. Example are there. Some students are not in their proper uniform. Most student teachers are staying at the library. So some and the most are the example of the quantifiers. What are the possessives? A form of a word that shows that something or someone belongs to something. जिसे हम कहते हैं ना दिस इज माई पोजेशन, यानी कि जब आप मलकियत शो करते हो ना दैट दिस थिंग बिलोंग्स टू मी एंड दैट थिंग इज बिलोंग्स टू यू. सो दिस इज द पोजेसिव, दैट इट इज माइन, इट इज योर, इट इज हर. सो समथिंग लाइक दैट. माई, योर, हिज, हर, इट्स, आर, देयर, राइट? Example: my brother John will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So his birthday belongs to my brother John and I will show you our new pet. So our shows some possession. What are the numbers? Cardinal numbers and ordinal numbers. Okay? Cardinal numbers are used in simple counting and show the quantity. Just to cardinal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 49. So these are the simple word counting and they show the counting that how many numbers are there. For example, the dogs are barking outside. 2 dogs are barking outside. 30 Lausanne's leaders attended the seminar. Okay, the 2 or 30 are the cardinal numbers. And what are the ordinal numbers? Used to show the position of someone or something in series. जब हम सिंपल नंबर चूज करते हैं तब हम कार्डिनल नंबर चूज करते हैं, बट सब पोजीशन शो करते हैं, जैसे कहते हैं फर्स्ट पोजीशन, सेकंड, लास्ट, 50th पोजीशन और द 20th पोजीशन. So when we use or when we show some position, we use the ordinal number. For example, Luffy defeated the first commander in the Blackbeard pirates. So the first commander means it is an ordinal number determinants, right? Okay. What are the distributives? Distributive, a word referring singly without exception to the members of the group. Means it is a word that it refers that अगर जैसे एक ग्रुप है, ठीक है, मतलब आप कह लो कि जैसे एक पूरा ग्रुप है और उसमें से आप किसी एक को स्पेसिफाई कर दो या एक को आप कह दो या एक्सेप्ट दिस मेंबर ऑफ द ग्रुप. So this is the distributive. Whenever you distribute some group, whenever you use whenever you use some determinants in order to show some distribution or some classification, so these determinants are used. For example, both, either, each, all, half, neither, or every. Right? For example, every human being is unique. All grade 7 students are industrious. So, all grade 7s and every human being are the, you can say, the distributive determinants, right? Now, the question words or the relative pronouns. What are the relative pronouns? Relative pronoun refers to some nouns that relates itself, that reflects itself. Whose, which, what, whatever. So these are also the WH family are used as a question word. For example, Kit is the guy whose mother is the famous singer, or he does not know what he is singing. So what and whose are used as a question, or as a, you can say that as a relative pronoun, right? So student, this is the lecture which is about the determinants. Here list that what are the determinants, what are the types of determinants, how determinants are used as a specific terms, and what are the general determinants that, and what are the types and the classification, and how it uses along with the classification, and what is the function, what it comes in a sentence. So it is also related to the pronouns, it is also related to some articles, and it is also related to some demonstrative quantifiers. So these determinants are actually, you can say that actually pointing something which refers to some noun group and which comes in the front of noun group, right? So this is all about the determinants. If you have some ambiguity, if you have some confusion, you'll contact me. So I think this is an easy lecture for you, but you have to focus or you have to grab the concept more clearly. So thank you. You have to